All right, we're going to talk a little Central Arkansas tennis now, and we got head coach Casey Wharton, and Cece is with us as well. I'll let her introduce herself so I don't butcher the Chinese version. Give it to me, and then we'll go Cece the rest of the way. Give me your full name.
Chunxi Xin.
Okay. The next time we do this, hopefully not during a pandemic, I'll have it down. I'm going to work on my Chinese between now and then, so we're going to be all good. But let's start with you. And Coach, it's good to see you too, but Cece, you would not have been able to go back home. We've talked to a few of the players on other programs and been able to make it back. What's the situation with your family back home? And from what I could gather, your hometown's about 600 or 700 miles away from Wuhan, but how hard hit was your town and what's going on back home?
My hometown is actually far from Wuhan and is near to Beijing. And then it was not so bad during in my city. And since the coronavirus being exploded like from the beginning of the year, and my parents' workplace is stopped for half a year. I think they just start get into it like this month. So right now in China, they have been controlled really well, and there's only like 1 or 2 new cases in the whole, like in China, in whole country. So I think we're getting back in my hometown.
Yeah, and your family's safe?
Yes, they're pretty good.
Good. Coach, you've got a lot of international connections with your team. What have you been able to get some of your players back home?
We were able to get everybody back to their house except Casey. By God's grace, once this all started to unfold, we were able to make some quick decisions and get people home. So I'm excited that they're with their family time. And so if Cece can't be with her family, I'm happy she's at least here with us.
Look, this has not been a good situation for anyone, and I, especially feel for those who had their seasons cut off in the middle. Your team was playing extremely well, 8 straight matches. I mean, you were on a heck of a roll right now, and I mean, who knows what it would look like by the end of the season. That's got to make it, doubly difficult to kind of swallow everything we've been dealing with.
Well, for me, I'm excited that we get those same players back for another. As great as it was to watch the team play well, it's nice to know that I get them for an entire year to watch them play well again.
Well, being a spring sport, how do you handle that? I mean, I know we've talked about some of the challenges there with baseball, softball. What about with your sport? I mean, how does that work with incoming, players? And I understand that maybe there'll be scholarships that won't count against, and obviously that's a sort of a slippery slope and a balance you've got to work anyway. But how does that work? What do you foresee for the next season?
For me and our team, I think we were very fortunate because we didn't have any seniors, so we didn't have to battle who do we want to keep and who do we let go, or do we just want to add more to the roster. I'm fortunate where the players that I want we already had, and then now we just get to have them for an extra year. I feel very, very fortunate.
Yeah. I mean, and recruiting's got to be a heck of a challenge for you with all the international flavor with the tennis team. Cece, how did you find out about Central Arkansas? How did that connection happen?
Connection to
Central Arkansas, and how did the recruiting process go for you?
Oh, you mean how did I get here?
Right. Yes.
A coach of mine, and is also a coach. I mean, is a friend of Coach Casey, and he introduced me. So Coach came to China and like find me, and then I was like, okay, yes, yeah, like pretty easy, like really easy.
Coach, was it that easy?
It was
super
wild.
easy. That was like only spent a week. I think I made the decision in a week, right?
I love that you did. It was one of the greatest things that ever happened to me. No, there was a friend of mine who I trust, and he just to me and said, Coach, I don't care what you're doing next week. You need to be over here and meet this player. She's smart, she's driven, and she's really good at tennis, so you'll love her. And I said, great. And so I bought a plane ticket, like China a week later. He picked at the airport. I didn't know her name. I didn't know where she lived. I didn't know anything. And then I got there and I watched her hit balls, and I was like, it's going to be great. And then she turned out to be super nice, and just everything was positive for me.
Cece, how old were you when you started playing?
When I was on my first grade of summer, that was 7 years old.
And competitively, when did you start playing competitively? Right away?
I think when I was 12 or 11.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how are you liking Conway?
I think it's really like peaceful, After I came here, like stay away from the buildings, and I found myself, it's really balanced.
Mm-hmm. So, Coach, what's the plan going forward now? I mean, when do you expect to have folks back? I mean, what's the plan? I realize everything's somewhat fluid, but
Still a little up in the air. I think since all of mine are international, except CC, everybody will come back August 1st, and they'll have to quarantine for a couple of weeks before they can start practicing and going about the town. Right now, I've worked on the schedule for the fall. I understand that, even that's subject to change, just because we don't know if there's going to be another spike, or the NCAA some of the regulations about these. But I'm excited that the team that I would like to be coaching, the team that's coming back, and so I'm excited that they're all able to come back.
Well, tennis is about as safe an activity as I can think of. We've been trying to push tennis and golf. I'm hoping that those will be available to you. But Cece, have you been able to play any since this all hit?
Excuse me?
Have you been playing any tennis since everything happened?
I found a wall, so I have been hitting with the wall for like a few weeks.
Okay.
But
Well,
not like against person on the court,
Gotcha.
Our courts are closed, and so are the city courts.
Okay. Well, hopefully that won't last much longer. I know Little Rock is reopening tennis and golf, I guess, this weekend. So let's hope that spreads elsewhere. But I shouldn't say spread. Let's hope that others open up. Spread is like a bad word nowadays. Coach, you got youngsters at home?
I do. I have 3 children under 4.
So I'll ask you the same question. I just talked to Coach Boone a little while ago, and I've talked to some of the other coaches. How would you rate yourself as a homeschooler versus a college coach?
I think my wife is the hero. I'm the assistant coach at home.
Okay.
So she calls the shots and tells me what to do. I love being around. I love getting to see them. The house gets dirty really. Like the other day, they just cut their hair. They grabbed some scissors and went in the room, and then like they just decided they needed haircut. And anyways, there's just so many things you couldn't plan on happening that are happening. So
and they're all they're all under 5, is that right?
They're all under 4. So we've got a 4 and a 1.5-year-old.
Jeez. Wow, well, that's wild. Cece, I know the team is gone, but do you have a lot of friends that are still in Conway?
I have some Chinese friends that are still in Conway.
Yeah. So what have you been doing from an activity standpoint? I mean, school's over now. Are you doing any summer school?
Yeah, I have one summer class during summer 1, but like I have nothing. Like I have no class during May and July. So I'm trying to study like the driving test. So I'm reading the book recently.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I've been doing the exercise every day and trying to cook some new stuff. Yeah, just try some different things.
So you don't drive now?
I cannot drive now. I mean,
okay.
I don't know how to drive. I'm learning.
I gotcha. Okay. Well, I can do it. It's not that hard. I mean, it's you'll pick it right up, I'm sure. And back home, you didn't drive?
Yeah, because when I was young, I mean, before I came here, I'm not legal to drive. I'm not old enough to drive a car.
Oh, okay. I gotcha. How old were you when you came to the States?
When I was 18.
Okay. I gotcha. Now, this is going to be a dumb question because I just don't know, but in China, do they drive on the left side or the right side?
We drive on the right side, just like the US.
Okay. All right. Well, that'll make it easy then when you go back home. That'll be an easy transition.
Wait a second. You mean where is the like driver sit in the car?
Oh, you sit on the right side, or you sit like Americans? You do it like Americans though.
Yeah, if we're doing American, we sit on the left, right?
Yes.
Yes, we sit on the left.
I mean, you can drive from the right, but it's really awkward. I mean, I would not suggest it at all.
Australia, yeah,
Yeah.
they from the right, yeah.
Yes, and England and some other places. I think a lot of European countries are that way. What do you like best about being in the States?
I like the American Chinese food, actually.
You like American Chinese food, okay.
Yes, I don't know why. I think because they put a lot of sugar. And I used to live in Shanghai, and they put a lot of sugar in the dish, and I like to eat sweet. So I really like to eat Chinese buffet in town, but they're closed, unfortunately.
Yeah. And you're cooking at home some?
Yes, I've been cooking, but like really simple. I don't want to do like all those like complete like bad stuff because they're normally I have to add a lot of sugar. But I just want to keep simple and healthy.
What about any American foods you're into? Anything you like from the States?
I like sandwich.
Sandwich? You do burgers?
No, I don't like burgers.
You don't like burgers? What kind of sandwich?
I like Panera and tropical smoothie, right, Coach?
Your story.
And I hate what is that one? The one that we all hate.
Yeah.
Jimmy John.
Jimmy John.
Yeah, we hate Jimmy John.
Oh, I like Jimmy John's. Okay, well, hey, to each their own. I'm a big Vito fan. I don't know.
I use Jimmy John's to punish them. I'm like, guys, harder in this Jimmy John.
Okay, well, you've been on an 8-match win streak. What's the post-game meal or post-match meal if you win? Where do you get to go?
Whatever they want.
We normally get bubble tea, right?
Yeah, usually.
You get what?
Bubble tea. I'm going to let her explain that one.
What is bubble tea?
So bubble tea is like milk tea. The milk mixed with the sweet tea, and then it has different flavors. And it has something like you can add the small chewy thing inside, and we call that boba. And it's made of tapioca flour, and then it just looks like a small ball. And
and sweet?
Yes.
Okay.
The tea.
Well,
that's a recreation thing. It's really popular.
Okay, I need to check that out. What are you studying?
Communication, and my minor is marketing.
Okay, and what do you want to do when you're done with college?
I want to work in a radio company or like a TV, like behind TV program, something. Yeah. But I want to open a restaurant if I can, but I know it needs a lot of money. So that's why I'm learning how to cook and find a new thing.
So restaurant, you're gonna work in a radio station. We can help you out on some of this stuff. I mean, I know a guy, but
as I say, what advice would you give? Why don't you tell her what you do?
I work in a radio station, but I would say open the restaurant. That's what I would tell you. But it's fun. I think you'd be great at that. That's good. Plus, you were a college athlete, so you've got a good perspective.
Well, I don't know if that can attract people to come.
Well, we'll see. You keep working on it. We'll see what we can do. Well, listen, y'all stay safe. Have a great summer. And, Coach, good luck with the homeschooling and everything else. And hopefully we'll see you around campus here soon.